Island riders, happy Friday. It's great to see you again, and it's great to see you on a Friday here today. And of course it's the last Friday of the month, so I figured I'd pick you folks up on my way home from work. Just cruising up through Brackley Point Road here after a good day of work, and man is it a beautiful day too. Finally we get a little bit of a reprieve from all this heat that we've been having. It's been crazy hot here on the island, and but man, it's been pretty good. You know, we've gotten close to about 40 degrees, you know, Celsius. So yeah, I figured it would be a good time to kind of chat, because I got actually a lot of stuff to pass along. I hope I remember it all. But yeah, we got some cool stuff to show you in the garage too, and actually I got some cool stuff I want to show you right now, just before we get going. This guy behind me is like, what is this guy doing? He's going for a rip. So right about now, channel update wise, you guys are probably watching Red Mud Madness, the sequel, which is a really cool series where me and Brandon explore this trail. And this is the Red Isle ATV Trail. So I figured I'd bring you up here because I wanted to show you something neat. But while we get to the neat thing I wanted to show you, we'll go over a little bit about, you know, what's coming down the pipe, what we're up to right now as far as videos are concerned, and what you could expect to see in the month of August, which is coming up here. And I'll tell you right now, we got some really, really cool videos coming down the pipe for you. So, of course, the next thing that we'll have coming down on the pipe next week is going to be the other part of Red Mud Madness, where we finish off our little rip through this trail system. And it was quite fun. We actually partook in a little bit of a rescue, if you will. Not so much rescue, maybe a recovery. Wow, the sand. Holy. So much of it. Yeah, that was a super fun little trail. And this is a super fun trail. Look at all this. Wow. So, other cool things that are coming down the pipe, we got our annual New Brunswick trip. So every year on the channel, I usually make it to New Brunswick at least once. And that's primarily so I can just get home, really, and just see some family. But at the same time, we were able to tie in a lot of really, really cool trail rides and some moto camping too. So we got a lot of that cool stuff coming up. I gotta kind of focus a bit around this turn. I don't want to get snagged around the blind, eh? Here we go. So we got some really cool stuff coming up for you. Now this is what I wanted to show you. Look at this. Now, in the video you're watching, this is just full of mud. Hence the Red Mud Madness title. But now it's just super dry. Can you believe how dry it is through here? Just so wild. So if you were thinking, if you're on the island, if you're one of the local island riders and you've been thinking about trying out the ATV trail up around Charlottetown, the Red Isle ATV Trail, now is your opportunity. If you're not, so if you're worried about the mud, now is the time, because look at this. It's drier than a popcorn fart. All right. Well, I guess there's a little bit of slop here, but nothing too crazy at all by any means. So yeah, what kind of videos do we got coming up? We got a really, really great group ride coming up in New Brunswick, featuring our buddies Hugo from Babino Moto, who is the director of training and recreation at the New Brunswick Dirt Riders Association, the MBDRA. So we had him, we had Andy, we had Justin, we had James, and we had Jimmy from Maritimer ATV. Look at this sand. Holy, like this is unheard of. I've never seen it this dry, actually. Like that's normally a big old pool. So yeah, that's a really cool video that'll be coming up. There's a 2-part series to that. Now, there's something special to that. Hugo is going to have a version of the video go live on his channel when I have my version go live on my channel. And it's the classic, if you want to see Hugo's perspective video, but it's not just that, it's not just the same video. We did it in such a way so that if you watch my video and you watch his, you're going to get two different videos. You're going to get two pretty much different rides. So, I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. And we got more adventures that are going to come up for September as well on that series. That's going to be about 6 episodes. A bit of a longer one, but worth it. All right, let's keep moseying. So another really big thing for this channel update. Look, okay, look at this. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Do you see how deep and how low that is on the grade there? That tells you a bit of how deep this thing can actually get. It can get wildly deep in here. So in the video that's coming up next week, I'm going to talk about how deceptive these pools are. And you'll know what I'm talking about here now, as you can see them so dry, and next week you'll see them in their glory. So yeah, other big news, super big news. Me and Brandon are now in full preparation mode for this year's big trip. That's right. So the big trip this year will be to Nova Scotia. And you might be thinking, oh, wait a minute. You went to Nova Scotia last year. You went to Cape Breton. Well, you know, that's true. I did go to Nova Scotia last year. But I mean, Cape Breton is Nova Scotia, but it's so much of its own thing, and it's so much of its own identity that, you know, it really stands out. So there's a lot more to Nova Scotia than just Cape Breton, and there's a lot more to Cape Breton than just Nova Scotia, you know what I mean? So I really wanted to take the chance. So we are going to be moving down through the Annapolis Valley, and we're going to be coming back up the South Shore for a big 5-day ride. But it's time to get prepped up for that. And there's one key thing that I didn't do on the last big trip to Cape Breton that I need to get sorted out for this trip. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back home. That's such a fun little trail. And I'm going to get some supper. And we'll meet back in the garage, and I'll show you what I'm getting up to for that. See you in a little bit. We'll get back there soon. Oh, I got a late start to the garden this year, so don't criticize me too much for the lack of growth. So the trip is like about a month away. We're planning on heading out, I think it's like August 26th. It's like a Thursday. It's going to be 5 days, and we're going to be, like I said, up and around the Annapolis Valley and the South Shore in Nova Scotia. So by all means, if you folks are up in that area, you know how to get in touch with me by now. Let me know, and you're more than welcome to tag along for a little bit, or you can camp out overnight with us. It'll be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got a really cool story lined up for this and a real neat theme, you know, a narrative throughout all of it. So I'm excited to share that with you later because I don't want to spoil it. But there is one thing that I mentioned last time before I went out on my big trip. Now, usually I have the first episode of the trip is like me getting the bike ready and showing the plan and like the kit and stuff. And one of the things I mentioned in the kit before Winches River, which was our Cabot Trail trip, was that I really didn't have any kind of, you know, backup plan if one of the wheels or one of the tires failed. So if I got a puncture or a flat or something like that, my excuse or my my plan was pretty much to have like one rider take the wheel, get it repaired, bring it back, or tow it. So we need to fix that up. And to start with that, I've been putting together the beginnings of a brand new tire repair kit. Yeah. So I got a small air compressor. And as you know, the distribution system now allows for a 12 volt like cigarette lighter adapter type thing. And this runs off that, and I already tested this. This will inflate the tire from 0 to running PSI. Plus, I have a whole brand new motorcycle tool set. Let's take a look at this. All right, so here's what I've got going so far. Doesn't look like too much, but we got a lot of cool stuff going on here. Namely, what we got are tire irons and some other essential tools for being able to pull a tire off the rim and then getting out. Now, one of the things I will update with this is I'm going to include a couple spare inner tubes. Now, Mitch, my buddy down at Bulger Motorsports, is working on that for me right now. But some other things, I've got the standard, you know, KLR tool kit that we have. I got some wrenches, and I got a little socket set here too. In this area and in this area here, there's like little sockets that I can use for it. What else? We got the little bit of a flashlight. This is like my typical flashlight that I use, and then a pressure gauge. And then up in the pouches up here, we got a whole bunch of knickknacks, including this one little tire like flush and fisher kit. So like what this essentially is just something that I can grab a hold of the valve with and pull it through. And then it also has a deflator end of it, and it has a tool to remove the core. So that's really cool. That's a little trick that I picked up, or a tool idea that I picked up from watching Mason's ADV. In the pouches, we got spare bolts and things. It's just an extra GoPro mount, a Swiss Army knife, various fuses and electrical connectors and taps and things in case we run into like electrical issues. And then this is like the inner tube patch kit. So it's a little bit of like, you know, rubber cement. And then we have like the actual little rubber patches that you put together. So that's essentially all I got in this. If you guys have suggestions, by all means, I'll take them. But I will say this, I don't want to go too much bigger than what I have here. I'm not looking to bring my whole garage with me when I'm out on a trip. So that tool roll is actually pretty cool. I just got that at Mark's Work Warehouse. It's like, just like almost like a clothing store up here in Canada, if you're not familiar with what it was. It was just like a little Carhartt tool tube. They had it for like $45. I thought it was awesome. Other things that I've got going on with tire, I'm just gonna bring some slime. You know, here's the thing about the slime. I'm not sure, is slime good? Does it work? I've never used it before. I've seen people use it and it seems like it works, but for me, I think this is something I would pull out. Say if I was on the highway, you know, huge cars, like real good potential to get cleaned right up off the side of the road by some like transport truck. If I found a flat on the highway and I couldn't ride it, I think I would just slime the tire, get it up to pressure and get it off the road, and then, you know, do a further inspection to see if that's going to hold or if I need to do a swap out of the tube. So that's what I'm bringing the slime for. Essentially, it comes with a little tool on the top to help you remove the core. You air down the tire, you squeeze about like, I don't know, what is it like? It says you put in about 354 milliliters. So you squeeze that in, you reinflate the tire, and then it evens itself out on the road, and then it just kind of like fills in the puncture, you know? So that's this option for it. So we actually have a unique opportunity right now. I am ready to have the tires on the Silver Fox changed over to the TKC 80s that I bought earlier in the spring. However, there was a recall on TKC 80s. So my rear tire is fine, but my front TKC 80 needs to go back. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get a new one. So the plan is that I'm going to run a Shinko 804 on the front, and I'm going to run the TKC 80 on the back, because I really want to still get that experience. Plus, I like the 804 on the front. It's never steered me wrong, literally. So we're going to try that out. That's the plan. But since I'm waiting on that 804, and you know, Bulger Motorsports, they got me covered. It's on the road to me now. We have the opportunity to kind of play around with the tires now. So we just looked at all those tools. You know, the tools aren't that great unless you know what you're doing with them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the back tire off, and I'm going to see if I can successfully pull the tube out and put it back in. I feel like if I can get the tube out, back in, tire back on the bike and rolling again, that I can pretty much fill in the gaps in between that process for repairing it. So wish me luck. It's super hot, and it's going to be probably a sweaty adventure. All right, let's start the insanity. Wish me luck. God. All right, that went pretty much exactly how I expected it to. and I've seen a lot of videos of people do this before, and they're on the side of the road, or they're just like, demonstrating how to, like, change tire on a rim, or, do a quick repair. And in no case whatsoever have I ever seen someone sit there and just be like, this is the easiest process ever. And they're just having a great time. No, this is like meat hooks handling this huge tire, like banging it and pushing it and stretching it and prying it. It's crazy. There's a lot of like effort that goes into this. And I expected that a lot. And for me, it was rough. I sweat through all my clothes. Had a good sweat going here, that's for sure. There's no AC in the garage. But, so that's why I'm kind of changed up here. Anyway, what I did get from this is a lot of minor successes, I would say. Number one, this kit, I can take care of the job with this kit. It's a lot bigger, it's a lot heavier, and I'm gonna have to find room on the bike for it somehow. But between all of this, I think I'm covered. Also, I was really surprised that I was able to do as much as I was able to do with the bike tire. I was able to break the bead, I was able to get the tire off the rim, I was able to get in there, get the tube out, put the tube back in, get the bike tire back on the rim, and I was able to actually seat the bead all the way around on both sides, which I'm super surprised about, despite the fact that the valve stem now has a little bit of a leak. But you know what? I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to send it down to Mitch, and they're going to get the new tires on it. We'll get a new tube in there, and I'll get some extra tubes as well, so we can complete this package a little bit. But that's where I'm going to leave it here for this channel update. So I hope you guys are having a great summer, despite all this crazy heat and despite sweating through all these heavy off-road rides. But we've got a lot of really cool ones too coming up. Again, like I said before, I'm really excited to share them with them. But if you're out riding, ride safe. And until the next time we see each other, be it in the garage here or out on the trails, take care, Island Riders.